Sumayya Ali, discussing with this idea of music, vibration, frequency, and healing and restoration of the body. We know that a part of the healing restoration is tied to the nervous system, the autonomic nervous system, right? The peripheral nervous system. Talk to us about this idea of the subconscious and conscious function of vibration, frequency, and healing. And how did your work begin to help us to understand better the autonomic nervous system and the effects on healing and restoration of the body?
There are so many beautiful ways to dissect this. In Chinese medicine, there is a point right here in between C7, cervical 7, and thoracic 1. You can usually feel it like a hump right here. And this is where the vagus nerve meets the somatic system. So the central nervous system meets the somatic peripheral nervous system. This is where the autonomic, like we don't have to think about breathing. We do that naturally. The autonomic nervous system does that for us. Thank God we don't have to say it, tell our heart to beat this many times to live. It all happens naturally. But we can also use the somatic to breathe consciously. So there are certain ways we are able to access the subconscious and the conscious mind. Now we know that the subconscious mind is literally thousands of times more effective than the conscious mind, which is why we tell ourselves, oh, I'm not eating any more chocolate chip cookies. And your subconscious mind's like, stop playing. You better go eat that chocolate chip cookie. And then you eat it because the subconscious mind is so much stronger. But we have the potential to align those. We can do it through the breath. We can think about the breath. We can set the attention, bring the awareness, and we're able to align the conscious and subconscious. We'll also be able to do that through music. We hear music subconsciously, but we can also consciously take in the vibrations. So these are two wonderful ways to align the subconscious mind to the conscious mind. And once you have that, the possibilities are limitless. As we talked before, you know, I'm smart. I could be a millionaire, but your subconscious says, no, you can't. Because somebody lied to you. Somebody told you a lie and your subconscious believed it. But if you're able to use music, you can use music to shift that frequency to what you really believe and align those. Then you have optimal hearing. And it's kind of calling you, I will call it a quantum, I will call it a quantum homeostasis. Because if you are operating in that, I just made that up. But if you
Quantum
are,
homeostasis.
yes, because if you're able to vibrate at your optimal frequency, the body will always have the energy to repair itself. Because all of this, it's everything is based. You cannot separate the physical body from the emotional body, from the spiritual body. You cannot do it. You cannot do it. So your thoughts and your feelings are manifested through the body. But if your energy has if your body has the energy to repair that itself, you're okay. The chi will move. The blockages will be dissipate. The wind will dissipate. The heat will be cooled. Your body knows how to repair itself. It just needs the energy. And it's hard doing that in a country where you're constantly under attack. So if we are constantly under attack, we need to do the work. And our healing modalities need to be consistent and cumulative, just like the trauma is. And how do we do that? Through music, through community, through sound. We do it all the time. Even if you're going, like people going to the disco or wherever, they go to join and all be in a rhythm together.
Mm-hmm. to join, to enjoin, to be in
Yes.
rhythm together. Among
Yes.
the God, they talk about rhythm and vibration. They say that rhythm, mentioned the chi, the rhythm is male and vibration is female, and just as rhythm is counted as staccato, I guess it's measured more. Uh, Vibration is more free flowing. It's like the wind; it can blow good or bad. It
Yeah.
depends on how it comes into alignment. I love how the God look at this. And you talk about something very similar, or the same thing, the idea of rhythm and vibration and flowing, and how you can release this energy, rhythm, and vibration within your body to heal. And if you're under constant attack, then you're being disrupted. I love it. You
Mm.
talked about the issue of quantum homeostasis, right? The idea of a balance that moves beyond simply what we know in our logical space, because it is something that is supra natural. I love it. Um, the autonomic nervous. I also, when you mentioned about breath, the connection between the two, that autonomic, we breathe throughout the night, but we also can regulate breath, and that breath helps the energy to flow. um, the energy then goes into the tissues. You were talking earlier about that and proton and so forth and forth. Go back to that conversation. Talk more about this idea of atoms, the atomic nature of the neutron and the healing the tissues. I mean, the sound can go in and cause profound prophetic healing.
It's very, very funny because this is really ancient knowledge. And where the most advanced scientific research ends is only the beginning of the ancient knowledge that we've had all along. So in Chinese medicine, which is African medicine, everything is based off of three categories. There's the Jing, which is the body, the physical body, or what we call like the nucleus of the atom, the physical matter. And then after the Jing, there's something called the Qi, which can be called the breath or the energy, right? And then after you cultivate the Qi and refine the Qi, the Shen opens up, which is the spirit. So it's body, breath, and awareness. It's physical, it's mental or emotional, and then spiritual. It's, but the thing is, it's just not science. But these are the same, it's the same concept, but with this, with the spirituality, it can't be separated from that. That makes sense. We don't call it, but that we'll call it an awareness. But this is kind of like the chi kind of circulates and it refines and it cleanses. And when you are cleansed, then it can make room when it's clean for the spirit to reside. Kind of like everyone has this spirit, everyone. But if the window is dirty, it doesn't mean the spirit's not in there. It just means we need to clean the window. And the more you polish, more you refine the chi, the more you organize the chi, the more you organize the electrons to resonate in the optimal frequency. When you do that, then the spirit is able to, we can see it and it can shine forth and others may benefit. And it's I find it fascinating because people cannot see it, but they can feel it. And it's science, so you can't even deny it. It also reminds me, they say be in holy places. And what is a holy place but except for a frequency that that resonates? within balance and divinity. In fact, in the earliest churches, in Christian, like after Jesus died, in order to be considered a church, you couldn't be considered one unless you had a relic of Jesus. So you had to have something that belonged to Jesus, a sandal, like something. And it was the frequency of that object that made that place holy. It was the energy that made that place holy. This is all physics. And people are like, oh well, things are dead. It doesn't matter. When a flower dies, it still has a resonance. We're able to use it when it's dried for medicinal purposes as a tea, or to smell it as a potpourri. Everything always has a frequency. Everything always has an electromagnetic field. And,
Wow. Go
you
ahead.
know,
Don't stop. No, no, no. I was just like feeling it. Yeah, yes.
so,
Everything.
so
Mhm.
if we pay attention, if we are mindful with our bodies, with the jing, and we have the awareness of the breath and the chi, then things will open up to us
Mhm.
in the spirit or the shen.
The I mean, when you talked about everything has frequency, even when we think of it as dead, has a frequency. I think
Nothing
about
ever dies.
how how the buzzards would fly, and they know death is somewhere because it's given them energy, it's been emitted, and they can sense that that energy is where it is. That um, there's always this energy, and how do we tap into it? And you're giving us some insights into tapping into that particular energy. You're telling us that it exists. I think that's the first thing, to know that it exists, to know that things can actually come along and disrupt your flow. I think that's number two, that there are things that are disruptive. And many times we're under constant attack and don't know we're under attack, which is taking our flow. Now, where did our energy and our flow come from? It came
Ah,
from, as you said, from the divine. So if that is the case, then we surrender our flow to something that we make greater than the divine. And that then becomes our downfall. But you said that we can restore, we can heal, we can renew, because if we can destroy, we can renew. But we have to be aware that we have our own song. Go ahead on. Anything else you want to add to that? Because you were, I mean, you were just, I don't want to cut your flow, because your flow is fluid, and we need to have it. We need to hear it. That
well,
everything has a frequency.
I just hearing you speak, I really think that African Americans are like a superhero hybrid. We really are. Like in this, like it's like a video game, like with animals being thrown and landmines, and we've just kind of developed a superpower, not to just survive the atmosphere, but to thrive in spite of it. And I really didn't even realize this until I took my first trip to Africa. And I was like, oh, I don't have to do anything. And people see the divinity and humanity in me. And I didn't realize all my life, every time I get up, how I dress, making sure my diction is crisp, doing all of these things to prove to the world that I am worthy of respect. When I went to Africa, I didn't have to do anything but be. And I was accepted and loved and honored. So I just had all of this free energy. I was like, oh my God, this must be how white people feel all the time. Just walking around
Free. Yes. Come on now. Come on.
free.
A moment of being, and people don't even understand. I don't understand what you mean. Yes. Every day of our life, every moment, we are moving and trying to figure out how to navigate something we don't even see, but we know that it's out there. You said something about when you went to the continent. Indeed, when I went to the continent. Yes, just being that there was a different freeing of my vibratory frequency in Africa that
Yes.
my mother-in-law, when we came back home, says, I know y'all glad to be back. And my wife and I didn't say a word because we knew that there was a different vibration that we were in, right? And that we were
Right.
free
Right.
to just be. And now all of a sudden we're back. And we noticed this, Samai, I want to tell you this, right? When you said something, we noticed that the animals in the Gambia, it would walk along, the cows would walk along and just be and wouldn't bother anybody. And the dogs they would bark a little bit, but not anything,
Right.
obnoxious. You could walk right past them. And we just noticed that there was a difference. It was like, hey, the dogs are lazy or they're slow or whatever it is. We came back and we had um, a bulldog boxer mix, and we took him out for the first time once we got back for his walk, and he came out with his hair bristled, and I was like,
Mm.
that's us. He's
Mm.
responding the way we are responding. We come out, boom, on guard, ready, which means
We
our
have to.
vibration have to, right? Right? Vibration is already on 9, 8, 7, 8 alpha gates, right? It doesn't take much to take us over the top, but we're not ever being.
Yeah.
We're surviving. We're navigating. Make sure I speak right. Make sure I dress right. Make sure I spell. And what is that right?
Right.
That right
And
moves into the vibration of somebody else. But you say that if I move like that, I'm destroying my own. Go ahead.
yeah. I mean, and it affects everything. It tightens the chest. It tightens the diaphragm. How can you open? How can food descend? How can you nourish yourself if your body is under attack? You can't. And this is all subconscious. This is. And I remember when I got back on the plane, I was still like this, open chest, happy, open solar plexus. Trust. I got on the plane,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a European flight attendant on a plane full of black people yelling at him, "Sit down, blah blah blah," because she. And but I was like, I didn't care. I was still open hearted, but she thought I was African too, and I was gonna take her stuff. And she snatched my food away, and I wasn't even finished. And my open heart just like this. Hybrid, Teenage Mutant Ninja hybrid somebody. Do I need to confront this? Yes, I do. Can I be loud? No. I have to use good diction. I have to show that I'm educated. Boom. And now I handle her. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Da 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 da. And I had to do it this way. And I looked around, and all the Africans were looking at me like I was a superhero. Like, wow. And then I became the mother of the flight. Can you help me fill out this for customs? And that's when I realized, oh, we're superheroes, and we don't even know it.
Mm. Whoa.
We're superheroes because we know how to navigate this. We ain't new to this. We're true to this.
Look at this. Come on.
but as being superheroes, we also need to go ahead and find our spinach, like Popeyes, which
Pop back.
is our meditation, which are these different modalities
Talk
to
more
kind
about
of.
that. Talk more about that. Let's go. Let's talk about what
So
should we do more of. Go for
So I think movement is very good. It's important to move the chi. It's important to gather the chi. It's important to move the chi. It's important to refine the chi. It's important to utilize the chi. We can do this through dance. And another thing, I have to write a book about this, is Black women's movement. But not just all Africans move their hips, letting go of the trauma, letting go of all the lower jiao issues here because stagnant energy, we can't hold it in our hearts. So what we do is we push it down. We push it down to the lower jaw, which is why so many Black women get fibroids. That stagnant energy, that blood stasis or prostate issues, because we're just suppressing it and pushing it down. But we got to move. We got to move there, which is why the music and dance and vibration is so important. We have to move the chi. We have to um, we have to gather, and then once it's moved with the body, with the breath, with the awareness, this is our meditation. It's always been our meditation. We can't let people hijack it and distort it and bastardize it or shame us. When I look at Black women's movement, it's amazing. When Black women get angry, what do? They start moving their head. Where is the psychostressor for stress? Right here. They are releasing. They're really like we already have all the medicine within our bodies, within the music, how we move. We just need to make the connection again. We need to add the breath and awareness to the movements that we always do. The directionality of the line dance, the moving of the hips to the beat. Everything we're doing is it's connecting it. If we just take everything that is already ours, our culture, reclaim it, add in the breath and the awareness, we have our own medicine.
The Congolese talk about we radiate in 7 different directions.
Hmm.
Radiating frontwards, backwards, upwards, downwards, sideways, and we're moving in those 7 directions. And if you think about the line dance that we do, every line dance goes left, goes right, goes forward, goes back, dips down, goes up, and turns, right? And it says that in that we're radiating forward, we pave the way, we're going backwards to what has been. We look for our enemies, we look for family left and right. Uh, um, we dip down, we get some of the earth, and we move upwards to gain some insight from the spiritual space as we make our turn. And so, if you go to the family reunion, you can do the dance with not having a partner because everybody is a part of the celebratory process of releasing that energy. You mentioned the neck, you mentioned the hips, you mentioned all of that release, and we need to do more of that. Tell us more about where the energy gets locked. I love what you said about locked in the lower areas, and we talked about ovarian and uterine and fibroids. I love it. And we didn't know that that's what's happening to us. And men with prostate, and then cancer. And we have to deal with the issue of the heart, right? Heart conditions, right? GI tract problems. What else should we know, Dr.
So
Ali?
And this is what I love about Chinese medicine, which so there's something called the Bao Luo connection. And which is also known as the heart uterus, and it can be a female uterus, also like a male uterus, talking about the testicles. So our heart has to beat. The body's job is to stay alive. So when we encounter trauma, we cannot leave it in the heart. We have to push it away far from the heart immediately because if our heart stops, we die, right? So we push it down. We push it down and we keep moving forward. But if we never address it, that stagnant energy, the chi becomes stagnant and the chi is not moving blood, then you get blood
Mm,
stasis.
mm,
And in Chinese medicine, we say where there is stagnation, there is pain. Where there is pain, there is
mm.
stagnation. This goes for emotional pain. This goes for physical. This where there is stagnation, there is pain.
God,
So
yes.
we have, and that can stay. When it stays there, it can grow phlegm and can harden. You can get tumors. And people get these things removed, right? But they always come back because it's not an issue. It's not a urogenital issue. It's an issue of the heart. So we have to address that. Or sometimes it's the liver. The liver is where anger is stored, and the liver can overact on the spleen. It can, which affects the kidneys. Was and that's what I love about our medicine, because we will not only treat the symptom. The symptom is the fibroid, but where is the root? Where is the root
Mm,
of the problem. We must not only treat the branch, we also have to treat the root. So we need to
Hmm.
we need to find out where is this stasis coming from? Is it coming from the liver? Does the liver need to be tonified? Or do we need to release a pathogen? Is it coming from the heart? And we can find all of this information out from the pulses.
Hmm.
Um, but this is all frequencies as
What
well.
do what do we do, right? What do we do? How do we release it? In closing, how do we release that energy? What do we do?
By
We
moving.
sing, moving,
Yes. Sing, singing a
moving,
frequency
moaning.
can break up, disperse stagnant energy. It can cause you to move. Like people are like, oh, how do I help my mother? My mother's 80. She needs to move. She put on some music. Put on her favorite 60s jams. She's gonna move. It's spiritual. Like you can't separate it. Get her up and dance. That's how you get her moving. You don't make her do those physical therapy. Put the physical therapy music into the dance. Dance against physical
Mm,
therapy.
mm. You're so right. My mother uh, turned 80. She's 83. We played all of her favorite songs, and she loved it. I got the sound the playlist today. Down, down, what you want to do? Baby, I got it, boy. I mean, that was it for her, right? I mean, that Aretha Franklin, Diana Ross, man, she enjoyed it. She loved the Temptations and the men in the suits. That's good therapy.
And that's her
Family,
moving
we
meditation.
have moving meditation. Family, we have learned that we all are vibrating in frequency. Our vibrations can be distorted, notes can be bent by that which comes against our true essence. We all were born with voice, vibration, song. We all have capacity to sing. Within our bodies are photons, protons, neurons, all of this electrons are moving, orbiting, ether around us, in us, through us. A part of us is physical, but a part of us we can't see, but we experience. We move through certain spaces and we have certain feelings and affect, and we can't explain it. It's a good feeling or not so good feeling. Trust that because it's telling you that there's something interfering with your vibratory frequency. But most importantly, know that you have a vibratory frequency. That's what Sumayya Ali was telling us. And that you must always resonate with your own voice, your own rhythm. And that's where your power comes from. And in your power, that's where healing comes from. And you are a healing force in the universe. We have learned, we have acquiesced, we've accommodated the chaos and confusion. And we have these ill health moments within a community. High occurrence of prostate cancer, breast cancer, uterine cancer. We have all of these things occurring in part, she's saying, because we've lost our song, we've lost our movement. Find your song, find your movement, allow yourself to live and to be free. Samaya Ali, anything you want to say in closing?
I thank you for your time. Yes, this is just a matter of knowing that we are the connection from the heaven to the earth. And through this, we can just ground our tailbone to the earth and reach the spine up like an antenna to the sky with an open heart and let the chi through the breath resonate and remove and renew us and just wash ourselves in the truth of who we are.
That's it. That's it. You said we are superheroes, powerful. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so
This
much.
has been this has been profound conversations, and this is Sumayya Ali with Dr. Mawata Carey, Kevin Washington, saying thank you. Find your soul.